When you think of iconic duos in the Naruto world, your first thoughts they probably go to Naruto and Sasuke, Madara and Obito, Kakashi and Might Guy, Neji and Tree Branches. But the duo of Itachi and Shisui is one that was very short-lived, but one that was one of the more iconic duos because of how well their fighting styles complemented each other. But if you only watched the Naruto Shippuden anime, you probably are unaware of the true story of how Itachi and Shisui met and what truly served as the foundation for their relationship, which didn't start out as the two of them as clan members who are automatically best friends forever, but instead, like a lot of friendships in Naruto, they started out as two rivals. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where we hop back in our ninja time machines and we take a look at the full true story of how Itachi and Shisui met, how their friendship grew strongly as it did, and how it ultimately resulted in Itachi eventually awakening his Mangekyo Sharingan. And for this video, the information is going to be coming to us from a few scenes from two Naruto prequel stories that were not completely adapted into the Naruto Shippuden anime, leaving out quite a few important chunks of lore that you are not familiar with, which those stories are called the Itachi Shinden story of Daylight and the Itachi Shinden story of Midnight. The former covers Itachi's life during his early years, and the latter covers Itachi's life following the Anbu Black Ops, and it ends with him joining the Akatsuki and meeting Pain and Orochimaru for the first time. For this video, we'll be looking at information from both stories and painting a full picture so that you can truly appreciate how iconic this duo is and why it runs much deeper than them being two famous guys known for their Genjutsu skill. In fact, you'll see exactly why Itachi got so good at Genjutsu. It wasn't just because his father was a Genjutsu specialist. In the days after Itachi sees baby Sasuke born, he throws himself headfirst into his training, thinking about how Sasuke would one day be expected to be a shinobi, and if there was a war going on in the ninja world, that Sasuke might too expected to die for his village, the way that those dead shinobi Itachi saw when Fugaku took him to the battlefield. It was as he was training as a madman, perfecting the hidden shuriken jutsu of the Uchiha clan's main branch, that Itachi is stopped by Shisui, who is a bit cheeky right from the start. He praises Itachi, saying it's impressive for a kid like him, who doesn't even have the Sharingan, to already be more skilled than a lot of the Jonin that Shisui had met. But Shisui sees Itachi smiling and grabs a kunai out from Itachi's holster and starts pulling off complex kunai throwing techniques, making expert use of his Sharingan and even pulling off the shuriken jutsu that Itachi was still in the process of mastering, all while proudly showing Itachi his Sharingan and his ninja headband. This would leave Itachi jealous and it would make him work harder, because seeing Shisui pull off things that Itachi currently couldn't, it did more than just hurt his pride. It also brought out his competitive spirit as well as his own eagerness to awaken his own Sharingan, because Itachi had seen his father training, seen his father use Sharingan, and knew the powers of the eyes, and he believed that the Sharingan would be the fastest way to gain the power and skill that he needed to rise through the ranks of Konoha. No jutsu would be beneath him to master if he used his Sharingan and was willing to put in the work. Nobody could stand up to him if he became a ninja who surpassed his father, and he surpassed the current third Hokage. At the very least, Itachi viewed surpassing those two as the way to get the power he wanted. Itachi, he had lofty goals, and so seeing someone a few years older than him be this powerful, it caused him to be humbled for a bit, realizing that despite what Shisui said about him being stronger than a lot of the adults, there were still people like Shisui out there who could still bust his ass. Just as Kakashi warned Naruto in part 1 of the story, they were ninja, younger than 12-year-old Naruto, but they were stronger than some Kage. People like that existed in this world. Shisui took that moment to show Itachi that being the son of the police chief and the leader of the Uchiha clan, it meant absolutely nothing. Thinking about all of the amazing things you'll do when you get older and become feared for your Sharingan, it meant absolutely nothing. The only thing that mattered was Itachi not getting too far ahead of himself, because when you look that far ahead, you don't see the people coming up behind you who are making ground on you, and you lose sight of the very people whose backs you should be chasing to eventually overtake you before you reach your goal. In short, you're special, but you're not that special. This would lead to the two of them training together on days where Itachi wasn't training with his mother or his father, and Shisui wasn't completing missions. The sparring matches, they would be intense, and Shisui would single-handedly defeat Itachi every single time, not needing to use his Sharingan to secure victory. And when Itachi insisted that Shisui use Sharingan, Shisui would bully him in the fight with Taijutsu or Genjutsu until he submitted. Iron was sharpened iron here, but these battles, they did more than cause Itachi to chase the back of Shisui and brush his skills against a shinobi who is close to his age, who had seen real combat, but it would also be therapeutic for Shisui. While Itachi was growing rapidly, Shisui needed this moment more than Itachi. When he meets Itachi, his Mangekyo Sharingan had just been awakened via the death of his teammate when they were on a mission to collect the dead bodies from the war zone that Itachi was taken to by Fugaku. Shisui had a moment where he could have saved his teammate's life, someone he was jealous of despite Shisui having the Sharingan. His teammate was still ahead of him, working harder than Shisui to maintain the distance between the two, basically teaching Shisui what Rock Lee warned Sasuke, which is that the Sharingan, it means nothing if your body isn't trained enough to react to what your eyes are seeing, and that having the Sharingan doesn't just put you above someone who's willing to put in the work, something that Naruto taught Sasuke multiple times throughout Naruto's manga. That jealousy caused Shisui to hesitate when he could have saved his teammate, and his death caused Shisui to feel tremendous guilt and awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan. And Shisui realized what happened, that he'd awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan, and he began crying over the guilt that he was feeling in that moment. As he was on his way to see Fugaku the day he stumbled across Itachi, seeing the young Itachi not even in the academy yet training as hard as he did, it reminded Shisui of his teammate who he lost. And that's why he would return to the scene every day, watching Itachi train in the shadows before he eventually introduces himself. Watching Itachi train, it helped Shisui with this grieving, and it helped him heal as he kept helping train Itachi. In the time post Nine Tails attack, we would see the two train even more intensely until Itachi became a Genin and would begin going on missions. And when Itachi did finally experience tragedy of his own and awaken the Sharingan, Shisui was one of the people who knew the truth about what happened. He would put in even more intense focus on helping train Itachi, further sharpening him as he now had his own Sharingan. On top of Itachi being trained to use the Sharingan by Fugaku, a Genjutsu specialist, Shisui would also work with Itachi on Genjutsu. The two of them would even go on an assassination mission together, with a 11 going on 12-year-old Itachi and a 14 going on 50-year-old Shisui. They would team up on Itachi's mission to get into the Anbu Black Ops. Since Danzo gave Itachi permission to choose one teammate for the mission, and Itachi turned down Fugaku's offer, telling Fugaku, go to Sasuke's academy ceremony or Itachi would go and throw off his mission itself. When Fugaku caved, Itachi said that he would choose Shisui. The two of them, they would enter into the battle with Mukai, an intense battle with a half Hyuga rogue Anbu of high skill who pushed the duo to their breaking point in the battle before he was eventually killed during their fight. In the time after that, and less than a year before the Uchiha massacre would take place, Shisui would continue to mentor Itachi, but also openly tease him about a certain half-blooded Uchiha who seemed to always be around Itachi, constantly looking for him when they were apart, and someone who Itachi was spending a growing amount of time with during his free time when he wasn't training with Shisui or he wasn't on Anbu duty. Shisui teased Itachi for catching feelings for his girlfriend Izumi, and at times he struck a nerve with the 12-year-old Itachi. However, as we all know, it wouldn't be all smiles forever. Both Itachi and Shisui were full aware of what was going on with Uchiha, both having attended the meetings and saw how Fugaku had lost control of the clan and had given in to the calls to make a coup d'etat. This of course would lead to Shisui directly reporting to Hiruzen and playing a double agent for Hiruzen, while Danzo made Itachi a double agent for himself. And as we would later find out, the reason Danzo snatched Shisui's eye so easily as he did came from the fact that Shisui was poisoned by an Aburame Anbu whose insects were so small that only Itachi could see them when he was made aware of their presence, and he was using the Mangekyo Sharingan, the poison spreading throughout his body. Hence, Shisui tore out his remaining eye and died in front of Itachi in order to ensure Itachi awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan. The truth about this friendship that started out as a rivalry is a lot of the ideologies that you see with Itachi's character, in particular as Itachi is moving closer and closer towards joining the Akatsuki, and some of the conversations he had with Naruto, a lot of those ideologies and thinkings, they come directly from his time spending time with Shisui. And some of these experiences you don't truly get to see in the Naruto Shippuden anime, because some of these scenes were cut out or they were flat out changed when we got to the anime adaptation that started around episode 452 and went all the way up to 456. Shisui was a major part of Itachi's life, more so than what the anime ever showed you. The relationship of Itachi and Shisui, it has a lot of layers to it, enough so it makes you wonder, what if Shisui never died, which this video on the left goes into extensive detail on, and over here on the right we have what if Shisui was reanimated by Kabuto.